It's hard to believe that it's already been a few years since Hyundai first introduced the Genesis sedan, their first premium model, and put the luxury world on notice. Now, several years later, and they're looking to do an update. Few would argue that it was really quite on par with the supposed rivals from Japan and Germany. It was, however, a great value option. Looking to close the gap, Hyundai has revamped the car for 2012, and they've added a lot of new features. For starters, there's a new 8-speed automatic transmission. It also gets a restyled front end and rear with some nice cues. A larger opening on the bottom makes it a bit more aggressive. Got some nice LED lights up front, which is all the rage right now. Along with that, it gets updated engines. The base V6 engine now gets 43 more horsepower thanks to direct injection for a total of 333 horsepower. The 4.6-liter V8 has been carried over, although it gets the 8-speed automatic transmission. But the most important, especially for sort of marketing purposes, is this. This is the new R-Spec model, the sort of highest performance version you can get. And along with those beautiful 19-inch wheels and a bit more aggressive bodywork, the most important thing, under the hood, a new 5-liter direct injection V8 making 429 horsepower. We're sitting in the R-Spec model right here, which is the top level trim that Hyundai offers. And so it has everything in it. If you bought a regular V6 model, you'd have to add on both the premium package and the technology package to get everything that's in this car. And it's a strange pairing between true luxury and some items that are just not quite there. For example, they've added on this nice leather on the doors, which looks absolutely beautiful, and it really feels good. It's also on the dash. The seats, which are part of an upgraded leather package, are also really, really nice. You can just tell when you sit in them. They look good. They feel good. Everything seems proper. But that's paired with some odd bits, like the middle of the steering wheel just feels a little cheap. The dash top is a little cheap. The center display as well. There's a lot of items there that just look like you've seen them in the Sonata before. And even the control knob here they've gotten in the middle, which is sort of iDrive-like. It just has a cheap feel about it, and doesn't have that premium quality that you really want at this level. We've already had the chance to test out the R-Spec, and now we're behind the wheel of the V6 model. And the differences are pretty surprising, but not how you'd expect. When it comes to all-out acceleration, the difference isn't as dramatic as we at first would have thought, especially considering there's a 100 horsepower difference between the two cars. With 333 horsepower now in the V6 model, there is no lack of acceleration in this car, so you really don't need more than this. And we found with the V8, once you really wind it up, I mean, you're really only getting the advantage of all that extra power when you're going above 60 miles an hour. I mean, it pulls at 80 miles an hour like it pulls at 30 miles an hour. It's just that you never really need to do that. So all the rest of the time, the V6 feels more than adequate. 17-inch wheels come standard on the V6 models, although you can upgrade to 18s. On the R-Spec model, you actually get 19-inch with low-profile summer high-performance tires on them, which are definitely beneficial. Now, we found that the 17 and 18-inch wheels with the tire package were definitely more comfortable for different types of roads. The 19s did, however, provide better grip. Testing out the steering on the few serpentine roads we managed to find in Michigan, there are some pretty significant differences between the two cars. The R-Spec model, it is a bit more aggressive, it's a bit more direct and heavy, although it also feels a bit more contrived. And so that being said, we actually preferred the V6. Despite an increased base price of $1,200, the 2012 Genesis still represents a great value over its competitors. Perhaps even more so, especially considering the great new design and all that added power. At the official launch of the 2012 Genesis a few weeks back, AutoGuide's Derek Kreinler reviewed the vehicle and said the V6 is the way to go. Now, with a lot of extra power and great options to option it out with, I'd be tempted to agree with him if, and that's an important if the price difference between that and the V8 was big, but it's not. Starting at just $34,200, you can get yourself into a base Hyundai Genesis sedan V6, and you can option that all the way up to $43,000. Now, for just $1,500 more, you can get the V8 engine, and for just $2,000 more than that, how could you not get the R-Spec?